Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and I'm 82 years old and I'm telling my life story video by video. And in the last story, I had left my job at Boeing to become a teacher over in Pasco, Washington. Now, if you haven't been following my channel and you want to catch up, if you got nothing else to do, just click on my smiling face. It'll take you to my homepage for my YouTube channel, and click on playlists, and in the playlist you'll find something like life story, I think it's called. And so click on that, and you can start with it's just a month or two ago that I started this, and so you can start with the first one. All right, so my last video was when I left Boeing to go teach school in Pasco, Washington. So now let's jump over from the west side of the state to the east side of the state and start school in Pasco, Washington. I taught at Pasco High School. I taught mechanical drawing and metal shop. And so the night before the first day, I sat down, went over my lesson plans, made sure I had them right, and and went to bed. And so went to bed and got up the next morning, all excited and everything. Ate breakfast, drove to the school, went down to my room, took out my trusty new key, opened the door, went in, straightened things out so they'd be the way I wanted them, and looked around, and I had forgotten my lesson plans. My very first day of teaching, my very first year. So I rushed back to the office, and I said, where's the phone? I got to call my wife, have her bring my lessons plan. Well, I didn't tell them that part. Anyway, so they said, it's right over there. So I grabbed the phone, I pick up the receiver. This is back in the old days, and I pick up the receiver, and then I realized that we hadn't had a phone connected up yet. There was no way I could call my wife. So my first day of teaching, my first year of teaching, I I did it without any lesson plans. So that was an interesting thing. And then another story, this is going to be a little shorter because I got a bonus to tack on the end of this video. Another story is, as I was teaching on that first day in a mechanical drawing class, the classroom was set up with drafting tables, and 2 students could sit at each table. And so I was up at the front without my lesson plans, telling how we're going to do things and setting up the rules and all that kind of stuff. And these 2 guys back in the corner, in the back row, were talking. And so I said, hey guys, let's pay attention because you need to know this stuff. Well, then I heard this comment come, a rude comment kind of a thing. And so little old short me, I stomped back and stood in front of his desk face to face, and I said, was that a threat? And he apologized, and he said, no sir, I'm sorry. And so then later in the day, in the faculty room, I was sitting there, and they knew I was new, and they said, well, how'd your first day go? And I said, well, I did fine, except I had this one kid named Rex, who he was like, he tried to threaten me. And they said, Rex, what's his last name? And I just say it was W, it started with W. He said, Rex W? I said, yeah. He said, whoa. Last year he was kicked out of school because he took his shotgun and blew a hole in the side of the vice principal's car. And so, as it turned out, though, I'll tell you what, confronting him like I did in a kind way, it worked. He and the guy next to him became some of my best students. And even after they graduated, I still had good relationship with one of them anyway. So that was the first day. Now let's jump back to the end of the year, and I'm teaching in a mechanical drawing class, and the seniors on that particular day were released from school, from class, in order to go listen to a man that came from all the way from Boeing across the state to recruit draftsmen, because they remember if you've been following, they hired me because they were trying to build up their workforce. So here was this guy, and so they went and they listened to him, and he told them all the things they were going to have to do and how they do them and stuff like that. Next day, they come into class all excited. And I said, well, how was it? And they said, Mr. Kent, or they didn't call me that, they said, Mr. Gunnarsson, every drawing that they showed us that day had your name on it. 160,000 employees at Boeing at that time. They must have really liked me. I should have stayed there. But anyway, I did it, and so as it turned out, everything turned out fine. But those were some of the things from my first year of teaching. Let's go this way and see what happens here. And so anyway, I'm going to cut this short because I've got let's see, did I forget anything? I don't think so. Nope. So anyway, I'm going to cut this short. I got a bonus video for you to watch, or you can just leave, because if you're not interested in what you see, then you don't have to stick around. But anyway, I want to thank you for watching this part, and let's jump to part 2.
All right, so here we are in the drone, about 200 feet above the ground, and we're looking west down what is known as the Queen Creek Wash. It's a man-made trench that some parts of it I think they're just almost 100 feet deep, and it doesn't look that deep from up here, but anyway, that's for flood control, and it runs east and west. And then, if you might notice, that is the park that we rode around in the previous video when I was telling you the story about my 1941 Ford pickup. So that's where we're located, and this trench was just to the north of where we were riding around. But I wanted to I just wanted to get a video because for my own benefit. But I'd show it to you too, because the road, if you look up here, you can see that they're building a road across the trench. And there used to be one there a long time ago, but because of it wasn't nearly as well built as this one looks like. But the floods come down from the mountains in a creek, which is dry all the time, except for when we have heavy snow melt in the mountains or monsoon rainstorms. So what they're doing is they're rebuilding the road that goes across this trench. And I've got a clip that shows what it looked like a couple years ago when I flew my drone, and got a video of if you look right down there and near the bottom of the screen, you'll see some broken pieces of concrete culvert that used to be down where the road's going across. They put that in and built the road over it, but they must have had some terrible flood, because that all got washed out, according to the picture that I've got from when I flew my drone that other time. So anyway, now it's not a culvert, I guess, it's just a waterway that goes underneath of that road. The reason they're doing all this is because the traffic in our area is getting way too heavy with all the houses they're building, and this gives them one more path for traffic to get out from where they live and go to work in the morning and come home at night and all that kind of stuff. So we'll swing around here and take a look at the part where the water comes in. And it comes from the east. This creek is dry 99% of the time. But anytime there's monsoon rainstorms in the summertime, or when in the springtime, when the snowpack starts to melt up there in the mountains, well then the water comes running down through here. And I've got some videos somewhere in the history on my channel of when the Queen Creek wash, as it's called, had water in it, deep water in it. So anyway, this is where the water comes in to go underneath of the road. And this didn't used to look like this. I'll put a clip in here so you can see what it used to look like last time I flew my drone up here and got a video of it. So that's gonna be a path for people to get to work and come home, stuff like that. So, and then we're looking west down the Queen Creek wash, and it goes way beyond that little roadway down there. It goes way beyond. Now we're going to swing around here, and you'll notice that there's a big black road up there. That's the road that we went on in order to get to the park in our last video. So that's where we're located, and I just want to thank you for watching my videos and listening to my stories, and God bless.